Hello, world of the internet. It's Bear here. I'm here for the finals of Dancing with the Stars, season 23. I'm going to give you my live reactions. I'm going to recap you on the semifinals as well. Because they will not be dancing tonight, I'm going to go over what went on with Tara and Sasha last week. They were eliminated. Well, first they danced their rumba. A lot of times in the semifinals they show a package of like how their life has been and leading up to Dancing with the Stars. It showed her struggles with being a little person. It was a very beautiful, strong rumba. She was able to bring the emotion. She had some really difficult choreography and she nailed it. And then she did a tango with how they do the trios. It was a trio with Tara, Sasha, and Artem. It was epic. She nailed it. She dominated those two. She was really able to pull out her strengths and just and if y'all recall, I think Julianne pointed this out a few weeks ago with her Paso Doble. She wasn't able to bring all that intensity. She brought it. They got all 10s for both dances. But what matters is the week before's scores and votes, and wasn't enough. And they left. That's just how it goes. They had 74 last week, tied with Calvin and Lindsay. And James was at the bottom with 73. Then Calvin and Laurie and Jana were at the top with 40. I mean, I thought it would be Calvin or James because I just thought Tara had a really appealing story. A lot of times when you have a story like that, you're at least like third or fourth place. Sad to see them go, but gotta move on. Tonight is the finals. It's always one of the best nights of the season. They get to do their freestyles. Easily, a lot of times, the best dances of the season. A lot of times decides the winner. So we shall see. In about 2 minutes, it's going to start. Yay. So, Calvin and Lindsay just danced their Viennese waltz. The first time they did it in week 3, I feel like it really was their first, really fantastic, really good dance. They got all 8s then. They did fantastic tonight. It was just like, you couldn't believe it. It was so on point. His lines were beautiful. His movement, he was joy to watch. But of course, Leonard be like, well, you are the most improved, but your footwork still not very good. And Carrie Ann's like, yeah, that, and Lindsay's foot came off the ground, and it was considered a lift, and they were really, really harsh on him. They gave him an 8 and 3 9s. 8 from Carrie Ann. I could have given that a 10. I mean, of course, I don't know all the technical stuff, but, of course, last week, Calvin did a tango. I mean, it wasn't as good as this week, but it was clean. Could have been a little bit cleaner. Didn't have the oomph like he has a lot of the time. And Carrie Ann gave him an 8 then, and Julianne and Bruno gave him 9s. And then he had a really, really good salsa trio with Whitney. It was really cool, the lifts that he did. Lindsay was on his back, and Whitney was holding on to him from his lower part, from his stomach or something. It was really, really cool, and the really cool leg work with the salsa with 3 people. It was great. I mean, it didn't stand out wow technique, but a lot of fun. Got all 10. So Jana and Gleb just danced. So last week they had a quick step. It was an interesting concept. Gleb worked for a shoe store, and Jana came with her baby, and she was trying to find shoes for her baby. Gleb stopped helping, I believe it was Haley, one of the troop members, because he got interested in Jana, and they started dancing the quick step. It was very, very good. It was hard to really point out anything wrong with it, but think the judges felt like one moment was a little awkward, but it felt very sharp with the hold and the footwork, and apparently the judges found something wrong. She got 2 9s and 2 10s, which is pretty good, but at this point, every little thing counts. It's a recurring theme. Like, you miss one little thing and it's bad. They danced Paso Doble for their trio with Alan. She ruled them just like Tara ruled the other men. Really sharp, really clean. She demanded that dance floor. She got all 10s. But this week, Gleb had the flu, and he was supposed to rest. Felt a little under-rehearsed. It just kind of had that awkward feeling, like they weren't really connecting, they weren't really moving as one. They were getting all the steps, but it just felt like it could be a smidge better. Jenna's foot just got a little bit off the ground. Carrie Ann had to underscore it. She gave it an 8. The rest of the judges gave it a 9. And then Lynn said, if it's an intentional lift, it should be counted off. In my opinion, if it's not supposed to be a lift and your foot comes off the ground, I do not penalize it. And I'm back. So Laurie and Val just danced. So last week it was really sad. Her grandma died. It was revealed in the package, and I'll just say she made her grandma proud. She danced a fantastic foxtrot. She was really sad and emotional the whole time, but that just added to it. A fantastic foxtrot. Wow. All 10s. But I felt like she did her samba trio. That was like even 10 times better. She got all 10s, which it was definitely worth it. But the samba trio, 10 times better even. How do you do that? I don't know. It started with Max teaching them, and then he kind of joined them, and then he let Laurie and Val do it together. But holy cow, how in the world? That was like the cleanest samba, the fastest samba. It was perfection. It looked like pros. All 10s easily. But tonight, she just danced a Paso Doble. It was amazing. Her shaping, her crispness, her sharpness. I mean, the last time it was a little. She was a little in her head. Her shaping wasn't as good. This time, boy, she killed it. She brought it. She perfect Paso Doble. But she had a lift. It was great. It was easily the best of the 3 tonight. So James and Sharna just danced. She got 9, 10, 9, 10. Now James last week had an Argentine tango. It was pretty clean, really good as usual. One of the judges found some kind of misstep or something. I feel like there wasn't a lot new. I feel like we've seen that dance a few times, which can be detrimental. I don't know, maybe not, but yeah. And then they danced a jive. Wow, that was awesome. James and Jenna and Sharna, their kicks were so good. James looked like he was having a whole lot of fun. He brought his race car onto the stage. It was fantastic. It got all 10s. Okay, now tonight, he did really, really well. Once again, he danced the dance he danced at week 1, which was the foxtrot. And they had a really cool theme of how they were in the library. And then they went out to dance. It's just so fun. And his lines, his footwork are so incredible. But he had one tiny misstep. It was pretty obvious, a stumble. But Bruno didn't catch it. So they got all 9s except a 10 from Bruno. But Carrie Ann was like, thank you for not doing a lift. It's a little bit of a rough round, but that sometimes happens. The freestyle round, a lot of times, everybody gets all 10s. So we shall see. Wow, just Jana and Gleb just danced their freestyle. It was emotional. It was passionate. It was supposed to show her struggles throughout the show. They had like this long scarf that like they were connected by. Like they had each tied to each one's waist. And it was just supposed to show her ups and her downs and her struggles, and it was beautiful. But the judges found some kind of fault when she was, at some point, I couldn't even tell, but she got all nines, and she was really, really depressed. But I think she has been fantastic. Even if she doesn't win, she's done so well. She has nothing to be ashamed of. So Calvin and Lindsay just danced their freestyle. That is what a freestyle ought to be. I've waited so many seasons to get a freestyle like that. Whoa. Like, he did it to a mashup of the Jackson 5, I Want You Back, and Please Mr. Postman by the Marvelettes. It was a full-on stage production. Lindsay pointed out, brought everything he's known for and that he's good at in there. She had him on a treadmill. There were treadmills on the stage, and they were dancing on those. There was a little bit of everything. It was fantastic. That is what you need in a freestyle. Thank you, Calvin Johnson. Of course, they got all 10s. But realistically, they could win at this point if they're not fourth, which, of course, would be determined off of last week, which they could be. But really, even though they got an 8 and 3 9s for their last dance, they're not going to be too far behind the lead. So they may be able to win off of that. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of votes. We shall see. It's happened before. Donald Driver, nobody thought he would win, and he pulled out a great freestyle like that one, and he won. Wow, this season, freestyles are not disappointing. Laurie and Val came out there on a playground set and just tried to share her youthful energy and how much fun she's been having. It was a joy. She got to do some flips, and there was a whole troop behind them. They were perfectly in sync. Everything about it was fantastic. I haven't seen freestyles like this at least the past 3 seasons. So we just saw the last freestyle. It was James and Sharna. Wow. Sharna has done it again. This was absolutely incredible. It was breathtaking. It was supposed to be about James's crash. If y'all don't know, he's a race car driver. He got in a crash last year, and they said it would kill him, but it didn't. And this dance was supposed to be about him, what happened to him from the moment he crashed to when he woke up. And Sharna was supposed to be the angel that helped him live, and it was beautiful. The choreography, the dancing was absolutely spectacular. Technique was untouchable. And it just started with his voice of him describing the crash, and he was just standing there, and then went into, so emotional. It was fantastic. He, of course, got all 10s. Then it was time for the elimination. And the couple leaving was Jenna and Gleb. Which I kind of thought it would be Calvin. Even though Jenna had 2 points higher last week, it was still really close. I felt like people would have fallen for her, but I guess she really doesn't have a strong fan base. But anyway, I really have no idea who's going to win. So Calvin has 75 out of 80 for the night. James has 77. Laurie has 78. Could be any of them. It just comes down to the votes, so I really don't know how it's going to go. I really don't know how I want it to go, but this season, it's been incredible. Great night, great season. It'll all be wrapped up tomorrow night. We will see who wins. And I'm just a bear living a crazy life.